You know, we lost, Chick Harris passed away the other day. I'm sure some of you guys seen that. Longtime running back coach in the National Football League. He was at Carolina when they first came into the league, and I was at Clemson coaching running backs and teams, and had a chance to visit with him many, many times. And then when I got in the league, and I coached running backs at Tampa and teams, got to visit with him on pro days, and he was a tremendous help to me. I know he's a tremendous help to a lot of people, had a lot of impact on a lot of pro players, so my condolences to his family, and certainly he'll be missed. That being said, I'll take any questions you may have. I'm going to turn my hearing aids up so I can hear them all today.
So how do you avoid, or what's the way to prevent that punt return touchdown? Like we're watching, like the DJ Moore goes one way, and it just attracts everybody's eyes. So how do you avoid a repeat?
You know, to be honest with you, I just did a poor job preparing him for that particular play in that particular situation. That being said, I just figured out I got to increase my index for how far back I go to make sure our guys see a lot of different things. You know, we kind of got caught in a little bit of that in the Miami game where the guy went this way and we had to kick over to the left and we played him. So I felt like we'd had it adjusted a little bit. I just think we came out of there with a mindset to not fan the field the way we're supposed to and chase the return guy. Kudos to them. They did a great job. I did a poor job preparing our guys in that particular situation.
Is there?
Go right here.
Rich, did you know something was up when Moore was back there? Because I don't think he had any returns.
No, but they've had some issues with different return guys, right, going into the game. So we figured we weren't sure who we were going to see. We weren't sure who we were going to see on the kickoff return either. But again, we'd love for that to have been an indicator for us. You know, I just think once the ball got punted, it was a left call, but that guy took off fast, which should have been an indicator for us as well. Again, I can give you 100 different reasons, but the reality of it is I did not really cover that with them in this particular week or in the previous 4 weeks, let's just say. You know, cover when the guy sloughs off in a double team out there, he's the guy that could possibly catch it. Or we've also covered where the guy can throw it back across the field to the guy that sloughs off. I think that happened in Dallas and Pittsburgh 2 years ago. So I really, that's on me. I did not do a good job preparing them for that particular play, especially in the red zone.
Coming out, it was punt left, right? And isn't that enunciated to everybody in the huddle before you break the huddle?
It is.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes bumper sticker says things happen. So, but it went where it was supposed to go. They just did a heck of a job really covering the guy they thought was catching the ball.
When they moved their wedge that way, is that what kind of threw your guys off?
No. You know what threw them off? I didn't do a very good job preparing them for the play. So, again, I thought they did a heck of a job on it, and it's helped me get my index loaded up for going back 14, 15 years now, things that could possibly happen. We were playing against Kansas City when I was in Dallas. We prepared for it all the time because Dave Toll was one of the guys that started that thing when he had Devin Hester. Everybody's so preoccupied about him. You know, they came up with that guy sloughing off and catching the ball. So I put our guys in a bad situation.
Rich, with the end of game where Matt called a timeout, he thought you guys were going to go for it. Does there need to be better communication between you two on the sideline to know, okay, if we get to this yard line, we're comfortable sending Brandon out?
I think Coach and I had a really good conversation about it. I think, you know, he's covered what he was thinking, what he wanted to do, and I'll just leave it at that. So,
your index, like going back 14 years, is that the last time somebody ran this play was when the Bears did it against the Packers, or do you know if someone has done that?
I don't really think I've seen it for a while, you know, since then. But again, when Dave went to Kansas City and had Tyreek Hill back there, and I was at the Raiders, we prepared for it a bunch. And I think we were getting ready to play. We did play them in Dallas. Tyreek caught it over in the corner, and the other corner had sloughed off a little bit. It just ended up going. Our team did a pretty good job at that particular point covering where it went. So I always prepared for that play, playing against Dave, because, again, like I said, when he was with the Bears, it's kind of when it got started. So, yeah, it's a lesson learned, right? Hard lesson learned.
So, Rich, a bunch of us were at that game in 2011 when they did it with Knox, so we thought of it right away. I'm curious, though, your philosophy on doing that kind of stuff from your end. Do you believe in doing trick plays, or?
Yeah, I mean, great question. Yes, we have our arsenal of things as well. It's where in the game, winning the game type thing. And going into that game, we actually prepared for a bunch of different things, knowing that situation their team was in, situation our team was in. You know, I think if you look at towards the end of the game, they ran a reverse on the kickoff return. We did a good job covering that, right? So I just think there's times in the game where things are going to happen. But I just have to go back to, I did not really go through that with them over the last however long. You know, certainly in training camp, you cover the guy sloughing off for that play. And I know we call it a trick play, but really it's a return to our left. So if it went over there to the right where everybody ran, there's still a possibility he could throw it back across the field because there was still nobody over there, right? The thing I'm disappointed in our players, and they will tell you we've covered this, is we didn't do a very good job of our lane distribution, find the ball, and then work to the return guy. So that part's on all of us. But, you know, it's really a heck of a play by Chicago.
What's the challenge that the Eagles, what are the biggest challenges the Eagles present your guys?
Well, they're you know, they're different than they were week one. They've played some different guys. I think one of the things they're doing a really good job of is DeJean back there on punt returns. He's averaging basically a first down in the return game. He's aggressive. He's an easy catch guy. He starts out you right away. I think their punter does a heck of a job of directing the ball right and left, puts it in different spots. He plays really well in the red zone. He can put the ball out of bounds at times if he wants. And then anytime you go to Philadelphia, you know, to play a football game, I've been a part of a lot of them up there. I have so much respect for the loyalty of the fans in Philadelphia and the way they make you feel when you go into that stadium. So, and then it's the playoffs, right? So it's a challenge going on the road. It's a challenge getting into the playoffs. It's a challenge when you get into the playoffs, how your young players are going to play for sure.